All right, guys, let's begin. All right, we got it jacked up. I am going to take off the wheel. I'm going to take off the wheel. I got a jack set underneath it, got the jack underneath it. Take off the wheel because you're going to have to access this area. All right, let's look around in the front. On top, front top. I'm going to take this off. I got to clear my way. My alternator is down there. My alternator is down here. And before you take off the alternator, you want to check to make sure that you have voltage on that pin, on that wire right there, the one with the rubber boot on it, right there. Make sure you have 12 volts on that. If you don't have 12 volts on that, or voltage on that, the alternator is not going to work. That is the power lead from the battery. You also have your plug down there that you'll have to check the wires on that and make sure they're okay. And we're gonna take it out and probe that too. See if I can do that now while I got you here. That's all computer controlled, by the way. So the PCM will actually turn this one on. So it's not necessarily has to be an alternator repair on this one. It could be a computer issue as well. So what we can do on this wire right here, and you see you got a little fray down there too, we can check our voltages from here as well. Ready, I was just trying to make the video, but yeah, you got your power and you got your ground coming out of there. And I might put a little bit of liquid tape on that, but the other one's not opened up or touching the copper. The copper's not touching the other copper, so I'm okay with that. I'm getting a signal. So let's start taking this thing off. My battery's dead, and you know, I just don't feel like doing all that right now. You guys can check that yourself. I know we need an alternator. So I'm gonna take this off and start disassembling. Get this out of there. AC bracket off. So we're gonna get that off. That way this will move and you'll be able to get this out. Okay. Just gonna leave it there. All right, I'm beginning to see my alternator. I want to take off the upper radiator hose as well. I want to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. How do I want to do this? Need to get these hoses out of the way, though. I'd like to. Yeah, let me get them out of the way. Let me get some more opening down there. Off, which I already did. I'm gonna disconnect the battery from here. All right, and this can get out of my way down there. Okay, so now I have no more power going to the alternator. The battery, if you're gonna do it from the battery is actually in the back of the vehicle, right there. So if you wanted to do that, that's easy enough to do as well. I'm gonna do it this way though. So let's get some wires out of the way. Okay. Get that nut off. Don't want it to fall. This is the big cable going to the alternator. So I disconnected the regulator and I disconnected the main power lead to the alternator. Now I can get this, I just wanted it out of the way because I have to play around in here and I want room to do that. So I'll just kind of stick this. I'll just kind of get this wire out of the way. Get that regulator wire out of the way. Don't want nothing to happen to my wires. And here's another cable right here I'd like to get out of the way, but this is about all I'm going to be able to do over here. So now you guys can see the little room that I got, that I have. So man, it's going to be a tight fit coming out of this hole, but it's coming out. It's going to come out. So what I think I'm going to do now, before I start messing with the belts and stuff, I'm going to start loosening up these bolts. Since I'm already on top, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up these top bolts and get the stud. I'm going to loosen up these top bolts now and go ahead and get the stud out of there. Is what I'm going to do now. 15 millimeter. 15 millimeter nut off of the stud from the alternator. It went right there, that nut, 15 millimeter. And then you use your inverted torque on the star bit, the torque head, and you screw it out of there. So now we have one stud that's out of the alternator. And I'm actually going to get both of them out of there, because I'm not going to fight anything. I'm just going to get both the studs out. They're easy enough to pull out. And it looks like I got everything else disconnected. And all I have to do now, I believe, is go down there, take off that pulley, take the belt off, take the pulley off, and I should be able to slide this thing out of there. Second one. I used the stubby ratchet, by the way. I use the stubby ratchet, seemed to work easier with that inverted torque on it. Okay, so now everything is disconnected up top, I believe. So let's go ahead and pull the tire off, and we'll get down there and remove that pulley. I've been here 30 minutes so far. I'm not trying to make it a 3-hour job. All right guys, so if you look from underneath, you'll see the tensioner pulley right there with that hole in the center that looks like the 1/2-inch wrench ratchet. So that's where you're going to put your 1/2-inch ratchet. And if you look at that pulley right there, you'll see that is actually the bolt that connects the alternator to the engine. So take the belt off right here and remove the belt, at least from this area right here, and pull out that bolt if you can. At least get it, you know, separated from the alternator. Okay, and if it doesn't come out, because you know the frame is right there too, so it should come out. But let's go ahead and get this belt off first. I have a hopefully you'll see that. And I have part of my tool, my belt removal tool. I'm going to see if I can use this instead of the ratchet. And I can. So I have it on there. This came in a kit, but you know, a ratchet should work as well. So you see the belt got loose. So let me put the camera down for a second and let me get the belt off this thing. I think I'm gonna try to get it off the air compressor. I like getting them off the smooth pulleys first, but it's doable to get it off the AC compressor. So I'm going to take this back off. We'll use that later for the install. Get the belt down a little bit. So now we can start taking off this pulley right there. And it looks like it's going to be a I don't know, 14, 13, 15, I don't know. Let's find out. 15 millimeter on that pulley. It does go lefty loosey. So let's remove this. Bolt is out of there, and you can actually shake around. You can actually shake it around and it comes out. So now that it's out, I should be able to pull that alternator out of there, right guys? So it's separated up there. And it's actually stuck on the alternator. So when I put this bad boy back in there, I might have to put that pulley in there first and then push it up and line up the bolt hole. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna have to do on this one. Pretty sure. Yeah, because here it is right here. All right, I'm just gonna leave it just like that. All right. Okay. Now let's get on. Now let's get up on top, and let's see if we can get that alternator out of the hole. It's not going to be a 3-hour job. As long as I can pull this out of here easily, I'll be done. I'll be done in 30 minutes. So it'll be about an hour and a half job for me, as long as you got the right tools. And on this job, you really don't need a lot. 10 millimeter, you know, a stubby ratchet, you know, some. I tell you what helps is those ratcheting wrenches. And they're going to help you when you get those alternator nuts off those top 2 studs. They're going to help. 15 millimeter. Let's see if we can get this out of the hole. The alternator. I'm grabbing the alternator. It's not looking very friendly to come out. Oh, maybe it is looking friendly to get out of there. Just got to make room with this wiring harness, and you got to push that AC line. You got to bend it just a little bit towards the radiator. All right, this is going to be an hour and a half job, or an hour and a half at least. So we got it out of there. It came out like this. Or close. You got to wiggle it and twist it a little bit. Yeah, the alternator does have a little bit of oil on it, probably due to a valve cover gasket leaking. I don't see where the leak is right now. Just a little oil. It's not a lot, but I guess you really don't need a lot for an alternator to fail due to oil. But it happens all the time. So right now I'm gonna put this thing back in the hole, put my new one back in the hole. I shop at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. The customer opted to get a remand alternator. This alternator costs what, $189 plus tax. So yeah, let me drop it back in there. Come on, baby, just go in nice and easy for me. Don't give me no shit. Make sure all my wiring harnesses are where they're supposed to be, because I don't want to have to pull this thing back out again because I got a wiring harness that's not correctly routed. You know what I mean? So that looks right. I'll show you what I can in a second, guys. It's just I'm in a bad spot right now. Make sure I got my regulator wire, it's in a safe position, and make sure I have my cable that connects to the alternator in a accessible position, and it is. That looks good, and that looks good. The other end that goes to the battery box right here. So we're safe there. Regulator and the power line. All right, so I got to drop back in the hole. So let's see if we can go back down there and get that. I kind of want to get it. Let's go ahead and get the pulley back on there, because we said we had to do that. Get the pulley back on there, and we'll work from that point. The alternator to its side, and like in this position, and then get it back in the hole, the pulley back in the hole, not all the way in, because you still have to get through the hole, and you still have to get through the hole. So now I'll get my alternator back in the, you know, where it belongs, in its position, and I can try to feed that bolt through the hole and get it started. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. I can't do that on video, obviously, but I'll let you know how bad it was, or how easy it was. Easier to put at least one of those studs on the top. That way it'll hold on the stud, and you can line it up easier. But you still have to get that pulley on the alternator first. So I got a stud. I'm gonna go ahead and drive it in there and get a couple threads started, and let's continue on putting it back together again. Not a big deal on this one. I'm actually in a good space right now. Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. I thought it was going to be worse. I don't remember doing an alternator on this one, this particular vehicle, but I think it's going to work out. All right, that stud went right in there. Oh, it went in that time. So yeah, good. Get how the belt goes on there. What I do all the time is I just get on my phone, 2011 Buick Enclave belt routing diagram, and you'll see it'll pop up for you right there, and you just click it and install your belt. That's it. I know people like taking pictures and drawing stuff like that. Google is fast, and there it is right there. And that's the belt routing diagram for this vehicle. It'll say it on top. All right, so yeah, let's get the belt on there. Very end, we got the belt installed already. So what you want to do now, before you connect this cable to here, obviously you want to connect it to the alternator. That's your power lead again, for your alternator. It's your 12 volt power right there. All right, it's going to be a 13mm socket, so tighten that up. Plug up the regulator, which we'll go ahead and do now. We'll go ahead and do that now. This better be the right fucking alternator, because it's really not looking like the right alternator right now, unless I got the wrong damn plug. That's the right plug right there. There's a plug just hanging around here somewhere. I don't remember where it went. All right, so that's the right plug for that. But I have a plug here. It looks like a pressure sensor plug. I'm pretty sure it is. So I'll have to find where the pressure sensor is and plug that back up, because it just came off. I didn't take it off intentionally. So I'll leave that here so I can see it, and I'll tighten this up. Pressure switch pops off too. It's gonna be right there, just on the other side of the AC charge line. You'll see it right there, right? And that's where it's located, in case yours pops off on you as well. All right, guys, so we connected the positive lead. We're connected at the alternator. We got the belt on there. We still have to connect this, put this on there, and that is about it. So we're gonna go ahead and start it up right now, if we can. Battery's probably dead. Sure it is. But we're gonna give it a whirl anyways. And the battery's completely dead. Okay. Key will not come out of the ignition. So let me get the jump box. In Buick Enclave, we just installed the alternator. It's one thing I wanted to mention before I let you guys go, so you can tackle yours, is on this, remember there's two cables on here. There's one right here, and there's another one right there. So don't forget to put both the cables on there. And that's a wrap, guys. It's Hayes Mobile Auto Repair, man. We're in Byron, Mississippi. No, we're in Brandon, Mississippi. Peace.